Hello everyone, my name is Ryan and I will be your narrator for our story today. It was submitted by one of our listeners, and if you haven't followed or subscribed to us already, please click that like and follow or subscribe buttons below. It will surely help our story channel a lot and allow us to bring more favorite stories to you. Now, let us begin with our story. I can tell you exactly when everything changed. It wasn't the wedding. It wasn't the vows. It wasn't even the prenup. It was the moment two families decided they knew better than the two people actually in the marriage. Hey there. I'm Jason, M32, and my wife Katie, F29. We both come from middle-class family, but hers is a bit more well-off than mine. Her father runs a small medical supply business and he managed to make a small fortune during COVID. Enough to buy off a 2-bedrooms apartment in the city as a real estate investment. Katie's parents were renting it out as an Airbnb. And once they heard about our decision to have a small weddings to save up to buy our first home, they offered to help. I guess they decided that they would give the young couple a good start by passing the place over to us. Also, I thought. Until something unexpected happened. Back then, before the ceremony, her parents invited me over. They had that serious meeting face, the one where the smiles are polite but the tension hums beneath it like electricity. They sat me down at the dining table. Her dad slid a folder toward me. Her mom folded her hands, like she was about to pray. "It's just a formality," she said. Just. That word can hide 1,000 expectations. "We're gifting you to the apartment," her dad added. "And we need to make sure it stays in the family." I nodded. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. When you're in love, you give people the benefit of the doubt, even when the doubt is the size of a staring elephant in the room. So I signed the prenup. My signature looked confident back then. Bold. Firm. I didn't realize I had just planted the seed for the biggest fight of my entire life. We got married. We moved into the apartment. Life was good. Chaotic sometimes, messy sometimes, but ours. We had small arguments about laundry and bills and toothpaste caps, the usual stuff. And then my grandparents passed. 2 funerals. 2 weeks. 2 people I loved more than I can explain. Their loss hollowed something out of me. But they left one thing behind, the 4-bedroom townhouse they'd lived in for 40 years. My parents called me over one night, quiet voices, tired eyes. My mom placed her hand over mine and said, "We want you to have the townhouse someday." For a moment, I forgot everything else. Because that house wasn't just walls. It was birthdays. Christmas mornings. Stories in old photographs. It was the last physical piece of them we still had. But then, my dad sighed. You know the kind of sigh that tells you something's about to get complicated? Yeah. That one. He said, "We need your wife to sign a disclaimer. Just something simple. So she can't claim part of it if anything happens. Your mom grew up in that house and we would prefer that it gets passed down to your children someday too." Those words hit me like cold water. I remembered that prenup. The one I signed without question. The one that protected their apartment. The one I agreed to because I trusted love to soften everything. Now the roles were reversed. And somehow, it didn't feel simple anymore. When I told my wife about it, she stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "Why would I sign that?" she said. Her voice was sharp, too sharp. "I'm your wife. Why are they treating me like a stranger?" "Because that's how your parents treated me," I said softly. She flinched. Anger bloomed in her face. It's not the same thing. But it was. It absolutely was. Just in reverse. She walked away from me that night. No hug. No good night. Just silence. The next day, everything exploded. Her parents called. Not to talk. To accuse. Her dad's voice thundered through the phone. How dare your parents demand that from our daughter? She is your wife. Her mom chimed in, louder, we gave you a home, and now your family is trying to steal her rights to hers. Steal. The irony burned. I stood there with the phone pressed to my ear, trying to explain, trying to stay rational when everything felt soaked in gasoline. But reasoning with people who are already angry is like shouting into a storm. They didn't listen. They didn't want to listen. I said, I signed something for you. This is the same thing. Her dad snapped. No. You signed because it was appropriate. Our daughter doesn't need to sign anything. Your parents are out of line. And then, the worst part, my wife stood beside them the entire time. Silent. Listening. Not defending me. Not even meeting my eyes. When the call ended, her parents had transformed a legal request into a battlefield. And they dragged their daughter right into the middle of it. And me too. And my parents. All because of a piece of property nobody even wanted to fight about 2 weeks earlier. The tension grew. Days felt like months. Everything we said to each other sounded like an echo of our parents' anger, not our own voices. One night, after another argument that felt like a thunderclap, she finally yelled, "Why is your family doing this to me?" And I shot back. Why didn't you ask your parents the same thing when they gave you the prenup? Silence. A thick, choking silence. She whispered. That was different. Her parents demanded meetings. My parents refused unless she signed first. Her parents called them unreasonable. My parents called them hypocritical. And every time the phone rang, my stomach twisted tighter. The worst moment came when I walked into our bedroom and found her crying. Not because of the inheritance. Not because of me. But because her mom told her. If he really loved you, he would never let his family treat you like this. That sentence shattered something inside me. Because I did love her. Deeply. Painfully. Completely. But I also loved my grandparents. And the house they left behind. And the fairness my parents were trying to protect, the same fairness hers once demanded. It wasn't about money. It was about principle. Days passed. Arguments piled on arguments. I sat alone that night at the kitchen table, staring at the prenup I signed years ago. I realized something brutal and honest. That signature I once thought was harmless had grown into a shadow stretching across both families. A shadow that now lingered between me and the woman I loved. I don't know how this ends yet. We're still talking. Still arguing. Still fighting over the fairness that both families want. Everyone. I feel so tired. And honestly, I don't know what I should do. Am I the bad guy here if I choose to side with my family, like my wife once did and still do, and ask her to give in to my parents' demands? And that concludes our story today. Once again, my name is Ryan, and if you haven't followed or subscribed to us already, please click that like and follow or subscribe buttons below. It will surely help our story channel a lot and allow us to bring more favorite stories to you. Thank you very much for tuning in and listening. Have a great day.